Hello everybody and welcome back to another Dojo video. In this one I'm going to cover T5 Abyssals and the Gila fit that I use to run them. As before, I'm going to assume that you already know the basics of how Abyssals work and how Gilas work. I sure hope you do if you're running T5s. And then I'm going to do a run through of one site just to show you what it's like. So here's the fit that I use. Got it open on this side so you can see the modules, but I'm going to be pointing out on the fitting window. Got my 4 rapid lights. Note the spacing to prevent heat damage. I got the drone link augmenter in the middle. I load faction lights. You can load Furies if you want, but I prefer to use the lights to snipe out some of the smaller stuff at range or to break the side caches. The tank is active as I mentioned, so Gist X-type large shield booster. That's my main form of tank, and then my hardeners 2 Pith C-type adaptives. Then for cap stability, I got a medium cap battery and a large cap battery. These also have a benefit of giving 28% cap warfare resistance, so that weakens enemy newts or nosses. Having 2 of these makes you fairly resistant to newts, and honestly with this fit, newts are not even a problem to me anymore. Then I've got my AB, Gistum B-type. Damage lows are the same as any other Gila fit, 2 faction DDAs and 1 Hiva Saitsuo ballistic control system. Depending on your skills, you may get more DPS by just having 3 DDAs, but you'll have to take a look for yourself. The rigs got 1 EM hardener, just for some more EM tank, because there's kind of a hole. Then a capacitor safeguard. This one makes my shield booster use less cap. This one's kind of optional. I think you're still fairly cap stable even without it, but I like to keep it in just for some extra safety. And then a core defense operational solidifier makes your shield boost cycle faster, so you'll get higher reps, but you'll also spend more cap doing it. Drones, since I'm doing electricals, I'm going to be using infiltrators and Imperial Navy infiltrators, but I also keep 2 Republic Fleet Valkyries to deal with Triglavian ships, because actually explosive damage is best against Triglavian even in a T5 electrical. And that's pretty much it for the fit. For the drugs, I do standard blue pill. You don't really need the strong or improved. I found that this fit can tank a T5, pretty safely. I've never really struggled in any rooms as long as I'm not being stupid with the flying. If you try to cheapen the fit, for example, by going lower on the adaptive invulns or the booster, you might start experiencing some trouble with some of the T5 rooms. This fit kind of just barely is enough to do all the T5s that I've encountered so far safely. And by safely, I mean very safely, as long as I don't, AFK or something. Of course, in addition to the fit, you're going to need a pod to go along with it. Since the fit's $2 you might as well spend some money on implants. I got a mid-grade crystal set for some more shield boosting, and I actually don't even have Cybernetics 5, so I bought a crystal Omega, but I can't even use it. So if you can plug that in, you'll have even better tank than I do. And then some other DPS implants, missile projection, cap management, light missiles, rapid launch. These are fairly cheap relative to the rest of the fit, so I would recommend 3% or at least a 2% just to fill up the slots. As I mentioned before, I'm running blue pill, and I also keep a hard shell just in case I can counter a really hard room, but, I usually never use that. I'm going to go ahead and start the site now. Now you might notice I have the notepad open. I do like to keep track of how much loot I get from each site, just so I can get a good idea of how much money I'm making. See up here, these are some T4s. Got about 50 mil average from 50, 40 mil average from 60. And then these are T5s, 52 mil average from 40 sites, which is not much better than T4, but then I started bringing along MTU and breaking all the side boxes, and it went up to 89 mil average. And I definitely recommend going for the side caches if you have time with your fit. This line, I just, before I enter a site, take note of how much the in-game estimate for my inventory is, 42 mil. And then at the end, I'll see how much it is because I don't want to calculate the cost of the filament. So I'm at my safe, going to activate and go in. Now when I go into Abyssals, as I mentioned in the previous Gila video, I made a special tab for it so it doesn't get cluttered, and I also sort by type instead of distance, because in the Abyss, that's a lot more important. Right away I spawned inside a orange cloud, which is pretty bad for active fits, but even then I'm still cap stable. This room's going to be brain dead easy, just a bunch of cruisers. They don't have nearly enough DPS to break me. I have a couple nukes, but whatever. So I'm going to start approaching the bioadaptive cache, turn everything on, wait for the cruisers to aggress me, and then drop my heavies, or my lights. I'm going to use Tech 2s because I don't care about the tracking here. And I'm going to lock a bunch up. I'm going to go for the Silent Tyrannos first because I don't want them repping. Notice here also that besides the cache, there's one other extraction node that's about maybe 20 or 30k from the gate. So I'm going to pick up the cache, drop the MTU, and break the other box. That's one down. On to the next one. It might be useful just to show you that, with this bonus, I am now cap stable 67%. This is only the 50% bonus as well. So if you get the 70% bonus, you're even more cap stable. Looks like a couple of them are shooting my drone, but I don't really care. One annoying thing about the electricals is that they are armor tanked, the drones they use, infiltrators. And, if you pull those back in, you can't, it's not like you can repair armor while they're in your hold. That is one downgrade from shield drones, but it's just an annoyance at best. Can't actually see the number there. 15 mil. That's not great. I broke the other node there. This drone's actually getting quite damaged. I'm just going to pull these back and watch the other two. The upholders and lancers, always, I've noticed, are the ones that fuck up the aggro and go for your drones. And the upholders are especially bad because they web your drones as well. It makes it harder for them to escape. Just going to drop my MTU here, orbit it at 500, wait for it to pull in the other two wrecks. Oh, I never dropped the other infiltrator. Yeah, again, you notice I'm not even really focusing down the newts that strong. Like, even with this guy neuting me, I'm still capped still at like 62%, not even close to neuting me out. I'm actually more annoyed by webs in this fit than I am by newts. So MTU's picked up the wreck, 10 mil from the side box. That's actually pretty good. From the side boxes, you can usually expect maybe 7 to 10 mil per box. Some rooms have 2 or 3, so that's a solid extra income from each site. Of course, you should only go for the side boxes if you find that you have the time for it. Like there, it's not like I could have gone through the gates and so I was still killing the enemies, so I might as well go for the side box. But if you have to give up DPS to go for the side boxes, don't do it. I might encounter one of those rooms in this run, and that would be a good example. But you always, always, always want to have your drones hitting something and have your missiles firing or reloading. There's no reason not to. The drones actually took quite a beating in this room. That's pretty annoying. But that's the first room done in about 5 minutes. That's pretty par for the course with this fit in a T5. Some of the harder rooms might take up to 7, so if you get really, really unlucky with spawns, you might only have 2 to 3 minutes left when you finish the last room. But usually I finish the sites with around 5 minutes left. So I'm going to take it, next room. You'll notice I turned off the shield booster to regen some caps since I don't need it right now. I don't even really need to do that. This room, Tesla room, again, brain dead easy. They actually have a surprising amount of DPS when there's this many of them, but it's not a problem. There's a subnode over there, so I'm going to start burning that way, try to break that. Once they lock me, I'm dropping my tracking drones. I'm going to have them go for the Logi first. One drone on each because these things are not very tanky, so I don't need to put both on the same. I'm going to use my missile to break that side node, just one missile, and then I'm going to start approaching the adaptive cache. Now in rooms with lots of small stuff like this, you're going to have to micromanage your drones a bit, because putting them both on the same one is wasteful DPS. Once I'm kind of close to this wreck, I'm going to go ahead and drop the MTU here, head towards the other node, fire a single missile at that one, and then orbit my MTU while I wait for it to pull everything in. Wow, that one was empty. That's insulting. What's worse is that my MTU is going to spend a bunch of time pulling that in because it's closer than that one. Now in a situation like this, these enemies are definitely all going to die before my MTU pulls in that wreck, so if I'm short on time, I'm just going to ignore that extra node out there and just move on to the next room. But I'm not too worried about time here, so I'm just going to wait for it to pull it in. Let's actually check what we've got already. 6 mil, wow, that's pretty bad. Looks like it's pulling the last wreck. Probably going to have to wait about 45 extra seconds. I can decycle my booster here too. Just wait for it to pull it in. That room was a lot faster. The frig room is pretty easy. That took me only about 3 minutes if I didn't wait for this wreck anyway. With it, probably 4, but still relatively fast. Come on, come on. 8 mil, not bad. Gonna scoop my MTU and move to the next room. You'll notice that I'm not worrying about my tank at all in these rooms. Not just because these rooms are easy. Even on the hard rooms, I find that I can tank literally the entire room. In some of the Vedmak rooms, if there's like 4 or 5 Vedmaks, if I let them ramp up on me too long, they will start to break me. So, try to kill off Vedmaks until there's only 2 or 3 left if you get a room like that. But otherwise, I haven't found anything in this game, in T5s that can stress my tank. Oh, Vedmak room. So let's see. Triglavians, I got the cache, 2 side nodes that are both behind the link. So I'm just going to go for this cache first. Once they all lock me, I'm going to drop my berserkers, or not berserkers, whatever the medium one is. I'm going to go for the harrowing first because that one reps others. I'm actually double disrupted, so my range is only 24, but whatever. There is a 2 starving Damavax and 2 starving Vedmax, which might normally be a problem, but again, in this fit, I'm not worried about newts like at all. Anything short of 5 or 6 starving West Shacks is not going to be a problem. So I'm going to get down that Vedmac as fast as I can. Break this cache with a missile. 28, not bad. Gonna go ahead and head to the origin conduit, drop my MTU there. Okay, killed off that Vedmac, on to the next starving one. Gonna drop my MTU here, and I'm actually just gonna use my drones to break those 2 boxes because I'm currently missile disrupted. I don't want to burn out to 20k. So just one drone to break the boxes while I have the other drone help me kill this Vedmac. The loot so far on this run has been pretty dismal. Definitely not great loot. Uh, as I mentioned before, the average I'm getting is about 90 mil per site, and the jackpot item in T5 Electricals, as of the making of this video, is the unstable large cat battery mutaplasmid. That one's worth a solid 250 by itself, so if you get that, it's a pretty nice jackpot run. Otherwise, most of your money just comes from the survey databases and the isogen. Occasionally you'll get a couple blueprints too, but at this point blueprints aren't really worth that much. Ah, he didn't fucking break the other box. Well, that's pretty annoying. I found that sometimes my drones kind of just stop attacking a target and start attacking a random different one for no reason that I can tell. And it seems to not have anything to do with any of these settings. I've tried experimenting. My drones just do what they want. So you gotta kind of watch their aggro, make sure they're shooting the right thing. It looks like, though, the timing's pretty good on this anyway. That wreck should be pulled in by the time I kill all these enemies. I also haven't been paying attention actually to this, but there may be a difference in loot between the extraction nodes and extraction subnodes, but I haven't bothered checking. Okay, so it's pulled in less wreck. I'm gonna head back to my MTU. Yeah, pretty good timing here. Last Damavic while I loot. 21, not bad. 2 side boxes, 21 total. And Damavic is dead. That's the site. So all in all, I got 550 left. So the site took me about 14 minutes. If I didn't try go for any of the side boxes, I probably could have done it in maybe 12 to 13. But I definitely find it's worth it. So you'll see I'm at 105 right now. I started at 42, so that was about an average. That was about a 63, 63 mil site, which is actually not bad. Not bad at all. And now I'm back home. So that's going to be the end of this video. There wasn't really any difficult rooms in that spawn, but even like this fit can face tank Vigilant Tyrannos, or what's his name? Charybdis Tyrannos, yeah, the battleship. Even in T5s, when he's classified as an assault battlecruiser and he deals something like 25x damage multiplier, this fit face tanks him. But if there's a bunch of other stuff hitting you as well, your tank will probably break a bit. Just make sure that, if you're fighting him, to clear DPS or get under his guns somewhat quickly. You can, if you heat your reps and your tank, you'll still tank it no problem. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Thanks everybody for watching, and I hope you learned something.